Yo, what's going on, man? Miles Fortress here, and this is a very short announcement, okay? Please join my Discord, okay? It's called Miles Fortress 2. It's a pun on Vader's Fortress in Star Wars, you know, his castle on Mustafar. Very cool, right? Very cool. Join in though. There's plenty to talk about. Marvel, Star Wars, DC, anything, you know? So come on in, join, have some fun. We're a family. And yeah, let's chill. What's going on, man? Miles Fortress here. Your boy Darth Mal. And now this right here is a topic that I wanted to go over for a while, okay? Because I might be one of the biggest Spider-Man PS4 lovers. I love it to death, okay? And I couldn't be more excited for the sequel, right? Or should I say I was excited for the sequel. Now, I'm still gonna play it. I'm still gonna buy it, and I am somewhat excited, but honestly, for the most part, I let's just say my excitement levels have gone down a little bit. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Why is because after seeing the gameplay, it just looks like kind of the same thing. Like there is a lot more stuff added to it, a lot more new stuff. And I've been watching a lot of videos about this topic. Like I'm not gonna name any names, but I've been seeing a lot of drama about this and you know, I felt that I just add my 2 cents to it and yeah, I seen gameplay and I'm just not really that impressed. I'm just not. Like, I'm seeing the same combos. I'm seeing the same finishers. I'm seeing new finishers too, but I'm seeing the same finishers. I'm seeing somewhat of the same swinging animations, like tricks, whatever. And honestly, what I wanted is a whole new game. I wanted everything to be completely new. I don't want anything from the past game to be in this one. All right. I think it's just so lazy to me, in my opinion, to like reuse animations and like I don't know. It's just like they had a whole trailer that showed the costumes, right? And I noticed that when Miles did an animation in this new costume, I'm like, yo, that's the same animation he did in Miles Morales. Like, why are we getting the same animations? That's in my opinion, that's unacceptable, right? Like, this is a triple A next gen exclusive PS5 game. Like, this should be best of the best, man. And in my opinion, it's just kind of it's unacceptable in my opinion to have the same stuff in this game that was in the last one. Like you can't just keep reusing the same animations, right? Like what happens when part three comes out and it's the same thing. Like fans are gonna start noticing it. Okay, maybe now you're getting away with it, right? Because part one was just so good. But like eventually, fans are gonna call this stuff out. They're doing it now, right? They're doing it now, but it's just it's just like it sucks. Like I don't want to see the same things being reused over and over again, right? And it's like the gameplay is just not really it's not really exciting me. So with that being said, I watched a lot of videos about this. I found the best one being this video here from David Jaffe. Spider-Man 2 PS5 is the formula getting stale. I watched it I think halfway through, so I want to finish the rest with you guys. But yeah, man, I'm just like now again, I'm not bashing the game. I'm gonna play it, and it's gonna be an amazing game. That's just how Insomniac is. Like they don't make bad games. I mean, as far as I know. Um, but I just hate that, man. It's just like, and honestly, you know what? It's the same thing happened with God of War Ragnarok too. A lot of fans are calling that out too for having the same things being reused, and telling y'all, bro, people are noticing. People are noticing, man. Okay. Now, if you see this big wrong hand. This big giant purple block over here. That's just my chat box. I'm not live right now, so there's no chatters. But that's my giant chat thingy. So just ignore that. The video's down here, and yeah, man, let's hop into this, bro, because this sucks, man. Like, hopefully in part three we'll have like a whole new game. And my personal theory is this. I'm sorry it's a long intro too. I'm sorry it's a long intro, but I don't edit anything anymore. I'm done with that. This is all raw, like stutters and all. This is all raw. But my personal theory is this, right? It's that I think the release of Miles Morales kind of ruined this game from being its true potential or reaching its true potential. Because like Could you imagine how hard they had to work on that game? That game was a drastic leap from the first one, to Miles Morales. Like it looked completely different, new combos, new character, new graphics, new tricks animations, swing animations. Like that was a whole new game, and it just feels like Spider-Man 2 is a DLC or an extension of Miles Morales. That's how it feels. That's how it feels. And again, I'll say there's new stuff in it, but I was kind of disappointed with seeing a lot of the same stuff. I didn't like that. So that's enough talking. That was a 5 minute intro. I'm not even streaming, bro. Oh my god. Ugh, sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, let's watch this video, man.
Any bit of a moron to look at Spider-Man 2 from Insomniac and think it is anything other than insanely beautifully made, beautiful game. Have you seen it? They did it last week, State of Play. Check it out while we're talking. Look at this thing. This thing looks amazing. Spectacular. It looks great. And I'm excited for it. Very, very much, because I love Spider-Man. He's one of my favorite characters in fiction, not just superheroes of all time.
Now that's cool. Now, and this whole sequence here, right? You're seeing nothing but new animations. I like that. I love that. But I was also seeing the same ones too. And in my opinion, there shouldn't be any old animations. I think some fans will think about that. Now, not every fan will complain about that, because some fans are just happy with having a new game. But you have critiquers out there who don't like that stuff. So I'm just saying, just Insomnia, Sony, just keep that in mind, all right? Because like the more you do this in the future, the more fans will call it out.
I love Spider-Man. He's one of my favorite characters in
That's
fiction,
cool animation.
not just superheroes of
That
all
was
time.
cool.
Always have since I was a kid. And this looks like a lot of fun. It is challenging because there's no doubt this game is going to be a big hit for Sony. It's going to be a big hit amongst gamers. It is going to...
I'm sorry, but one thing too, the swinging is so slow on this. The swinging is so slow in Spider-Man, dude. Like, well, in this Spider-Man, it's so slow. Now, is it smooth and fluid? Yes, but it's so slow, man. My God.
to sell bucket loads. Certainly not a Game of the Year contender from what I hear after watching some of the hands-on impressions from last week, but the general consensus seems to be it is super duper fun, but yes, it is more of what you loved about Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales, which is certainly not a bad thing. I only bring it up because I wonder, are we not seeing the cracks in Sony's bread and butter formula? Can you put a crack in a formula? I don't know.
I'm saying
if we're not seeing the problem with Sony's current formula, especially given what seems to be the shifting landscape of video games, specifically video game design. So before we get to that, I just want to be clear. This looks awesome. I can't wait. I am day one. If they're doing an early access for a pre-order, I am.
But that's the thing though, right? Even though this guy is saying, and I'm saying it too, even though me and him are saying the game looks fun and looks amazing, we're going to play it still and probably love it, most likely love it, people will still attack you for like calling it out. Like, what's wrong with you, bro? Just be happy it's a new game coming out. Are you crazy? Oh, Spider-Man. Like, they will rip your head off, man. For just simply not being a quiet, just chill. Like, I don't like that. You know what? I'm not afraid to come on here and speak my mind about this kind of stuff. I've been doing this for like a year now, for over a year. I'm not like that, man. So, you know.
I'm day -5 or whatever the fuck it is. Love it. Can't wait. Nothing against this game. Super duper excited. However, do I think there's more here to discuss as it relates to the bigger issue of Sony first party titles? I do. So let's do that. I'm going to be critical of PlayStation in this video.
That was a giant subscriber plug-in. Like, that thing blew up to the whole screen.
I don't hate PlayStation, and I don't hate Sony, and I certainly don't hate Spider-Man. My bit where he is back there, and Spider-Woman, my favorite. And I loved the new Insomniac trailer. But in showing it, I think it shines a light on where PlayStation first party is incredibly vulnerable. It's hard to see it because they're the top of the food chain right now. And it's hard to see it because
Yep.
Spider-Man 2 is probably going to sell bucket loads. I'm not asking you.
Probably. Isn't it already gold? I don't know. I'm looking at chat. I'm just so I'm so used to like streaming. I look at chat over here and I'm nah. But yeah, didn't they already go gold? Like people are just blindly buying this game. Like it's gonna sell like hotcakes. Like that is the least of Sony's worries, trust me. And that's probably why they didn't go all out for this game. Like, like why even try to make new stuff or put in crazy new ideas if the old system worked so well? Like why even try? Why even try?
To take it on faith. And I'm not asking you to agree with me. I'm just asking you to enter into this conversation with me with an open mind, because as someone who loves the medium, I think this is worth talking about. So the trailer was great, but the trailer shows that Sony is kind of stuck in the gear they've been in for a long time. If you remember the Uncharted 4 trailer with Nathan Drake dragging behind the convoy and everybody lost their minds, rightly so. It seems, with the exception of, a game here and there like a Returnal or an MLB, this bread and butter formula is getting stale. And maybe it's because we have had a year of such top tier game design superstars. If you look at Tears of the Kingdom, if you look at Baldur's Gate 3, and yes, if you look at Starfield, for all of its issues that a lot of you guys watching this may have, still does a handful of really bold, interesting things when it comes to narrative, branching, storytelling, things like that. And
I wasn't a fan of Starfield, so I can't comment on that, but that's all I'm gonna say about Starfield.
then last year, of course, we had Elden Ring. So when your palate has gotten used to those flavors and your palate has kind of matured, and then you see something like this, you cannot help but love the presentation. But abstractly, if you look at it at a game level, it's not really asking you to do all that much more in a unique player agency.
Now this whole Spider-Man symbiote sequence here is amazing, right? I love seeing that he has a new rage sequence that he can just have, and he has just all new animations, right? But dude, remember that part in the very first gameplay reveal like months ago? Remember when he did that move where he webbed the guy, he flung him across the house and then the other house, and he kicked him on the wall like that? I found out in some more gameplay reveals that Miles has that same exact move. Okay, and this is what I mean. It's things like that. It's like that was the sickest thing ever. I thought that Symbiote Peter had a exclusive move set for just him, and then it's just like, oh, Miles could do the same thing too. Like, why, man, why? That literally ruined it for me. It ruined it. It's a cool move, but it's like now knowing that Miles can do it too, it doesn't make it that special anymore. It's not special. It's not exclusive to Peter. I don't get that. Like, remember in Web of Shadows, right? He had a whole different move set. Like he had a whole different combo move set for Black Suit, for Symbiote versus his regular suit. He had a whole different play style. It was crazy. Where is that in this game? That's all I'm saying, man.
Way. Like even this scene here, which is, if this was a movie, we'd be losing our shit, because as somebody watching this scene, you're like, holy cow, that's a cool idea. That's awesome. It's like, shit, that's a neat concept. And I don't know how your brain works, but when I'm playing these sequences, I don't have the mental bandwidth to really appreciate it in the way that I am when I'm watching the sequences. So when I'm playing it at an abstract level, I'm just like,
that's a bar.
Stick left.
That's a bar, bro. It's like watching the sequence versus actually playing it is two different things entirely.
It's like Crazy Climber, right? Push left, dodge the thing falling. Push right, dodge the thing falling. When there's an opening, do my attack. Up, spider sense, push down, then left, there's a thing falling. This game is amazing at a presentation level, but at a gameplay level, we've done it. And it seems like so much of Sony's bread and butter formula is about...
Bro, look at this. He's just doing the same thing. He just moving left to right, dodging the car. Oh my god, bro.
presenting the game as this
He
amazing
keeps doing it too. Like,
love it. I get
there's
it.
no
It's a
new
great
sequence.
subgenre. They should never stop making games like that. But there's a point where I think you start to see the lack of innovation in the actual part of the game that matters most to most people, even though they may not know it, which is the interactivity. I look at this game and I say, I will definitely get it day one. I am excited. I cannot wait. I would be stunned if after the initial excitement, I finish this game. Not because I don't love it or I don't appreciate it, but because after about 5 or 6 hours, I get the sense I'm like, okay, I get it. Let me move on. I haven't felt that way with Tears, Elden, Baldur's Gate, Starfield. All of those 4 games have me continuing to come back to them because they're not always, but it seems so far anyway that they're.
Well, let's be honest here. Sony, like, you know, their top tier AAA games aren't really like that crazy gameplay wise. They are more or less like movies. That's how they feel. They're like playable interactive movies. That's kind of how they feel. Honestly, like, I say the only exception is maybe like The Last of Us, Uncharted, I guess God of War, but even God of War has a lot of cutscenes, man. It's a lot of cutscenes, like, yeah, cause like it's a lot of gameplay, a lot more. Honestly, I'd say God of War has more gameplay than Spider-Man, but it's a movie though. It's a lot of cutscenes in God of War, so like that's their formula. It's just telling stories. That's their thing. Is telling stories. Like, stories seem more important to them than like making crazy gameplay advances, I guess. So
Is always something new to delight me and surprise me. I don't get the
it's gonna be a
sense
long
of
video.
that in a lot of the Sony games. And this could just be my brain. You guys could be like, yeah, that's great for your gamer brain, Jaffe, but we love this. Who are you to say that just because your brain feels that way, that you're ahead of the curve? Because that's what I think. I think in the same way that you have people that are movie snobs, aficionados, whatever you want to call them, same with music, whatever. They're so deep into it as a art form, and it's not just a surface enjoyment for them, that they're able to recognize when they're getting tired of the same old thing more often than others who are just sort of cursory engaged. But eventually, they end up being right. Pop music does change. We're sick of this. We want this. We're sick of these kind of movies. We want these kind of movies. So maybe it's that, or maybe I'm just a minority and this bread and butter is bread and butter and it works and people love it. For me, I would be worried if I saw Baldur's and Tears and all these games this year and a couple last year and go, is this formula still fresh enough?
Was Tears that good, y'all? If you're like watching after the video is done, if you're watching, was Tears good? Like, let me know in the comments, man, because I haven't played it yet. My Switch is just collecting dust right now. Like, my niece just uses it as a TV. Like, my niece uses my Switch as like her personal television. Like, I don't even play games on it anymore. She uses it more than me. So I don't know, but if it's good, let me know. I might buy it eventually, but yeah.
To really be our core template for game making, and it might be, but don't point to the sales because this thing's going to sell great, huge. But that doesn't mean we're not seeing the beginnings of the fatigue setting in of this kind of game. And I wonder if you're at Sony, are you? And you have to be. You can't be Cory Barlog working on his new game, as smart as Cory is, and going, no, it's the same as it ever was. There's no way that he's not taking these lessons in. And I imagine when he unveils whatever he's working on, you're going to see a reaction to the last couple years of more player agency-based games in what he does. I'm almost certain of it. Perhaps with the new Ghost of Tsushima as well, which they haven't announced, but
I'm hyped for that new Ghost,
man.
Nintendo,
you're not bagging on the new Mario. It's like, oh, it's the same game over and over and over and over and over, but it's not. The difference is the genre is.
Who says that? Mario is not the same thing over and over again. It's really not. It's not
the same. The core mechanics are the same of like, oh, you run to the right,
yeah,
the end of the level, jump on the flag, blah, blah, blah. But the stuff that they're showing that you get to do is fresh. It's fun.
It's all different levels and stuff. It's not the same thing. That's a dumb.
Spider-Man 2 could not be.
That's a dumb take. Like, that's a bad take from Mario. Like, what?
This template. But every time, I don't know if you notice, but every time they actually show moment to moment gameplay, and if you extract yourself from the visual wowness of it, what you're doing with the game, how you're interfacing with the game, we've seen that and we've done that many, many, many times. But when you look at Wonder, I haven't done these things before. And even the ones that I've done, the twist that they've put on it is enough to go, ooh, that looks like fun. There's not a single thing in the Spider-Man 2 trailer, except maybe fast flying, that I've looked at that I say, I'm sure the game will be fun. But I'm trying to think of one mechanic or one thing with the controller or one idea at a meta level when you're playing where you go, or where I go, holy cow, that I can't wait to do that. Or I know I'll be smiling when that happens.
Yeah, literally for me, as far as that goes, literally for me, it's just, I guess, the black suit and the web gliding. That's it. But like other than that, I'm not really hyped to do anything new in the game. Like other than that, it's the same thing. I'm gonna play in the first one. Now it's fun, but I'm just saying, like, new stuff wise, yeah, the black suit and probably the web glides.
It just kind of looks like,
or web gliders.
Push up, hit triangle and square, boom, I'm going to do this cool flary move. And that's cool, but I've done it over and over and over in these games. I mean, ask yourself this, if they announce next week Ragnarok.
Dude, there it is. Look at the combos, look.
I mean, ask yourself this, flary.
The same exact freaking, like, web, like, launch or whatever you call it. I don't know. I think it's web strike. The same web strike, like.
Move. And that's cool. But I've done it over and over and over.
Look, boom, same web strike as part one. I mean, same combo. Look, same combos.
If they announce next
same
week
combos.
Ragnarok,
that's so boring, man.
Be Ragnarok 2.
That's so boring.
And it's basically the same thing that we had in 2018's God of War and 2020.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be
2's God of War Ragnarok. And that it looks better than any PlayStation game ever. Controls great. The fighting combat is great, built on the bones of Ragnarok. But it's the same kind of game. It's the same thing that we've done in Ragnarok. Similar to...
Now Ragnarok did have a few gameplay changes from the first one. They had that cool, like, ring spear that Kratos had toward the end. Remember that cool spear he got from that mermaid thingy? That was sick. Oh yeah, and the weapon too. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, there's some cool things in Ragnarok. It was fun. It was fun.
Horizon. Are you really after finishing?
I hate Horizon.
Forbidden West? Are you really after finishing Ragnarok?
I could not finish Forbidden West. I'm like not even halfway into that game. I wasted so much money on Forbidden West. I'm not finishing that game ever. It's so boring. It's so boring, dude.
Not going, I cannot wait to do this all again. Maybe you are. I'm not. I need them to do something to get me engaged with this stuff again. Now, again, I get it. It's going to sell bucket loads. People say, Jaffe, why does it matter? If it's the same thing. We like the same thing. That's
a dumb question.
More of the same. And I get it. But I would risk sounding arrogant here when I say I don't think you want more of the same the way you're defining it. When you are excited for a sequel, in my opinion, in my experience, for whatever it's worth to you, you're excited to have the same emotional experience you had from the first experience, the first game. But if they simply give you more of the same, they're not giving you the same, because what was included in the first game that you don't have in the second was the sense of discovery and surprise and
boom, there it is. There it is. Okay, now everyone's like, oh, what are you complaining about? You loved the first game, right? It was so good. Yeah, duh. It was the first game. It was the first game, genius. Like, what? Like, bro, there was nothing to compare it to. Obviously, like, what are you talking about? Stupid. Like, what?
Freshness. The way Insomniac did swinging was new. Spider-Man in that much of an interactive open city,
it was fresh.
Was new. The sense of respect to the lore and history of Spider-Man and the story that they were telling, that was new. Well, you're not going to have that. I don't know if it's a dopamine drop or a serotonin. I don't know how it works, but you're not going to have that brain pop this time because you've already popped that. And now
that's what it was. And I'm sorry for pausing, but that's what it was. And God of War Ragnarok, Atreus. You can play as Atreus. That was different. You can play as Atreus, and that cool spear thing that Kratos had, and maybe something else too that I forgot. But that was big innovation right there. Adding Atreus as a playable character, I did not expect that in part 2. So yeah, He had cool combos too. He had cool combos.
Now, if they don't put new stuff in there that recreates in your brain that feeling of those fresh pops from the first game, then I'm sorry, it's not the same. That you're asking for the same feeling, but they're not showing you they're delivering the same feeling. That's why I push back when people say, "Well, that's what we want in a sequel. We want the same thing. Why
No,
would
you
we
don't.
buy it otherwise? Because we want what we liked." But what
You
you
want it till
liked
you
is not
play
on
it.
display. Not at least not yet.
They want it till they play it.
In the current trailers. Maybe that's a marketing issue. I don't know. Maybe that's they're holding their cards close to their vest because there's some big play surprises they don't want to ruin. But so far, at a Spider-Man level, I mean,
If you ask me, it's a corporate thing. Okay. Now, I'm not gonna say the devs, Insomniac is a bad developer because they're not. They're amazing, right? Look at what's that game called? Sunset Overdrive, like Ratchet and Clank, like they are fire, right? But if you ask me, it might be a corporate thing, meaning like they probably can't go all out. Maybe they can't. Maybe they want to, but they're like, oh no, that's too risky. No, don't do that. It's too risky. Like, this is all about money and what's the word? Money and I guess just business at the end of the day. Just money and business. Like I could definitely see Sony HQ or corporate. I don't know who's ever doing it. The higher ups. Like I can totally see the higher ups being like, yo, don't do too much craziness, okay? Keep what works, and that's it. I can totally see that. I can totally see something like that.
I'm excited. It's a day one. It's an early access for me. I'm looking forward to it. But I think it does show that Sony needs to freshen up this formula and pretty quick. And maybe they're already doing that. I mean, maybe that's one of the reasons we don't see a big roadmap is that 8 months ago, PlayStation was like, ho, shit, fellas. Let's have a big fucking meeting, get everybody together and say, look, we don't want to stop the kind of games we make, but the landscape is changing a bit, and we need to kind of rethink how we're doing this so we don't get left behind. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, if I was still at Sony and if I was in a position of any kind of creative authority, I would be pushing for that kind of discussion because media is filled with stories of ruling the roost with a certain kind of thing and then that thing being disrupted because the kings at the time didn't recognize that there was a shift that started way down deep and subtly. But they were going, but we're ahead, we're the winners, people love us, people like me, and then it's gone. It's like, what happened? It's like you didn't change. So
Yep.
I'm hoping they are.
Yep.
But I'm still excited for Spider-Man. I hope you're well. Let me know what you think, obviously. And of course, the subscribe.
That's a good video, man. Good video. Now, I do want to say he has a lot of dislikes here, but that's not cool to me. In my opinion, it's not fair. He spoke the truth. He didn't bash the game, right? But I've seen this guy getting hate on Twitter. I saw some bad tweets about him. All these dislikes here, not cool. Okay, he didn't say anything wrong about the game, and as far as it goes, he seems excited for it. I'm excited for it, But we just want new stuff. We just want new stuff. All we want is innovation. That's all we want, right? That's all we want. Look at Spider-Man 1 compared to the second one, the old ones, like the Raimi games, like night and day, like two different games entirely. Now part 3 is a whole different thing, right? That's a whole different thing. But Spider-Man 1 and 2, night and day. Like part 2 was a complete different just boost in quality. Like it was crazy, right? So we'll see, man. I'm sure there'll be a third game for Spider-Man, and maybe it'll be a whole different thing. But as of now, it's more of the same. It's more of the same. So yeah, man. With that being said, that's it for me. Like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on this, man. Does Spider-Man 2 look bland or like stale to you? Like let me know. Let me know, man. Is this whole thing just like more of the same, or is it like they're just doing what works? So yeah, man. Cash App is right here. Donate to me, please. Help me out. Anything helps, even a penny helps. Anything helps out. Right there. Link should be in the bio down below too. And yeah, man. Now like goal today is 20 likes, man. Help me out. 20 likes, please. And out, man. Peace.